Hello and welcome to Getting Started with Git and GitHub. This is GitHub training hosted online by the Aggie Makerspace, presented by the Aggie Makerspace, the Aggie Robotics Club, and GitHub Education through myself, Chris Cannon, our GitHub campus expert at NCAT. Welcome. I'm very excited you all are here, and I'm very excited for all of the benefits that you will gain from this training. So this is Module 0, and this is an introduction to the course, and it's basically to get everything set up and ready. So the first thing we're going to go over is installing Git. To install the Git command line tools, you will go to git-scm.com. And notice, because I'm accessing from a Mac, it gives me the download for my operating system right here. You'll get the recommended for your operating system there. If you have Linux or Windows or whatever you have, you'll just download from the link right there and install those command line tools. Okay, so take a second and pause this video if you need to and install that real quick. So once we've got everything installed, there are some configurations that we need to perform. So the way that we access Git varies based on our operating system. So if you're working from a Mac OS or a Linux machine, you'll go through your terminal app. And if you are working from a Windows machine, you will go through the Git Bash app. Okay, this is slightly different from your normal command line, but it's a really nice terminal emulator that gives you a lot of useful commands and has nice color coding for use with Git. So I'll show the commands here on this Windows VM, but they're the same for any platform, just in the terminal app on Mac OS and Linux, and from the Git Bash app on Windows. So what we're going to do is git config global user.name, and we'll go with your first and last name. So I'll put mine there. And then the next command is git config global user.email, and I'll add my email here. So it's important that you use the email that's associated with your GitHub account. So I have several associated with mine. This is one of them. And what this does is when you push commits to GitHub, because they're associated with your email, it will also associate them with your GitHub account. So that's very important to get that right, so you get credit for your contributions. So if you need to take a moment, you can pause the video and run these configuration commands now. Alright, now let's talk about the next tool that we're going to need for this class. The next tool is going to be a GitHub account. So a GitHub account you can sign up for at github.com. Make sure, I recommend that you start off registering with your school email address, because that will help you with the next thing that we're going to, one of the next things that we're going to go over in just a little bit. So pick a username, make it something presentable to a business, but still have fun with it. Just avoid any sort of vulgar or suggestive terms in here. A GitHub account is a great marketing tool for yourself as a software developer, and you definitely want your username to reflect well on yourself. So don't forget, use your school email address here for now in email, and you can associate other emails later if you'd like. So once you have created a GitHub account, the next tool that we're going to talk about is Atom. Again, just like Git, you get the installer for your operating system right here. Atom is an open source, totally editable text editor that's actually created by GitHub. It's got a really nice interface, nice themes, tons of plugins. When we're working on this course, if you already have a text editor that you prefer to use, if you're into Vim, if you're into Sublime Text, any other straight text editor, that's totally fine. Feel free to use that. If you're not sure what a text editor is, you don't have a favorite one yet. So I recommend that you download Atom for this course, because that's what I'll be using. It'll be really easy to follow along with. Otherwise, feel free to use your text editor of choice. This is just a real good option that I put forward for those who don't yet have a text editor they prefer. The next thing that we will discuss for this course is the Student Developer Pack. Now, this is a list of a bunch of free tools available to you as students just because you have your school email associated with your GitHub account. Okay, so that's why we made our GitHub account part of our that's why we used our GitHub account to register previously, so that we have everything available right here. So you can just click Get Your Pack, add your GitHub account information, and you get tons of free benefits. One of the biggest ones that we will work with later in this course is you get Travis CI integration for private projects, which is awesome. You get that for free, which is really cool, and tons of other things you can read about. I haven't even fully read about everything in here. There's just so much great tools available for students here through GitHub Education, so make sure you sign up for that. Finally, we're going to discuss some Git from the command line, but that's not always necessary. We're going to learn a couple different ways to use Git, and the simpler, more straightforward one is actually the GitHub desktop app, which, like all things from GitHub, it'll populate with your system here. Go ahead and download it for your system, and it's a really nice user interface for working with Git, so that should be great, and will definitely be a great tool for everyone. So the final thing that we need to do is get you in our Aggie Makerspace organization. This is where this training is hosted. It's what's gonna enable you to get through all the rest of the modules. Otherwise, you won't really be able to participate fully. So make sure that you follow our current process. Is shoot me an email at ccannon1@aggies.ncat.edu. and I will get you added to this Makerspace organization. Just make sure you include your GitHub username and that you need access to the Aggie Makerspace organization, and I will get that done for you. And that is your exercise for this module, is to sign up for everything and do all the downloads and configurations that have been discussed. Once you finish all that, shoot me that email that you've completed Module 0 and are ready to be added to the Aggie Makerspace organization, and I'll get that done for you. Of course, you can reach out to me through the Makerspace, through my email, ccannon1@aggies.ncat.edu, and I can answer any questions that you may have. Thanks for joining us in Module 0. I look forward to working with you through the rest of the training.